Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I have a story that will take you on a journey about art, hope, and a strange little sketchbook that changed someone's life. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. The smell of stale coffee and forgotten dreams hung in Evelyn's small apartment. She was 26, an artist who felt more like a failure than anything else. Most of her canvases were blank, her fridge was nearly empty, and her spirit felt as worn out as her old paintbrushes. It was a gray, rainy Tuesday when she decided she couldn't stare at the same four walls anymore. She put on her coat and headed to a local thrift shop called Memory Lane, a place packed with dusty shelves, strange objects, and long-forgotten belongings. She didn't go there looking for anything in particular. Honestly, she just wanted to escape the silence of her studio and maybe find a little distraction. As she wandered through the aisles, her eyes landed on a slim, leather-bound sketchbook tucked between a chipped porcelain doll and a stack of old encyclopedias. The cover was worn and soft from age, with a faint tea stain in one corner. It felt oddly personal, like it had belonged to someone who had truly loved it. For a few dollars, she bought it and took it home. Back at her apartment, with a mug of instant coffee beside her, Evelyn carefully opened the book. Inside, she found the most beautiful yet incomplete artwork she had ever seen. There were sketches of cities, portraits of people whose eyes seemed alive, and watercolor paintings that faded off the page as if the artist had vanished mid-stroke. Every drawing felt like a peek into someone's soul. But on the second-to-last page, she noticed something strange. Written in small, elegant handwriting were the words, "Complete the last page, and your dreams will come true." Evelyn laughed at first, shaking her head. It sounded ridiculous, like something out of a fairy tale. But a tiny part of her, tired, desperate, and quietly hopeful, couldn't stop thinking about it. She turned to the very last page, which was completely blank. It almost seemed to glow under the light, as if it were waiting for her. For days, she couldn't bring herself to draw on it. She sat staring at the page, wondering what her dreams even looked like anymore. She didn't want to copy the original artist style. If she was going to do this, it had to be her own voice, her own story. Finally, on a rainy afternoon, out of sheer frustration, she picked up her charcoal and began to draw. Slowly, a city skyline emerged, with one small figure standing alone, looking up at a sky full of swirling stars. It was a picture of longing and hope, the kind of future she desperately wanted for herself. As she worked, something shifted inside her. The creative block that had held her captive for months began to fade. New ideas started to flow, and she felt more alive than she had in a long time. That same week, something even stranger happened. She received an email from a small gallery she had applied to months ago and forgotten about. They wanted to feature some of her work in a group show. Evelyn couldn't believe it. It felt like a sign. She poured even more of herself into the drawing, adding color to the sky and giving the lone figure a clear sense of purpose. And with every new detail she added, new opportunities seemed to appear in her real life, a small commission from a friend, a sudden increase in online art sales, and messages from people who loved her work. It was like the sketchbook was somehow connected to her dreams, slowly bringing them to life. Months later, Evelyn stood in a gallery surrounded by her own paintings. People were walking around, admiring her art, and even buying it. It wasn't fame or fortune, but it was a dream finally coming true. She carried the old sketchbook in her bag, knowing it had played a part in this moment. As the event was winding down, an elderly woman approached her. She was graceful, with kind but knowing eyes. She stopped in front of one painting, a whimsical cityscape under a star-filled sky, and said softly, "This reminds me of something I started decades ago." Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. She pulled the sketchbook from her bag and showed it to the woman. The woman's eyes widened, her hands trembling as she touched the worn leather. This was mine," she whispered. "I drew these when I was young." Evelyn realized she was standing face to face with Amelia Vance, a once famous local artist who had mysteriously disappeared from the art world years ago. Tears welled up in Amelia's eyes as she turned to the last page, the one Evelyn had completed. "I wrote that note for myself, long ago," Amelia said softly. "Life got in the way, and I never finished it. But you did. In that moment, Evelyn understood. The sketchbook wasn't magic. The real magic was in the inspiration and connection between artists across time. By completing Amelia's work, Evelyn had found the courage to complete her own dreams, and in doing so, she had also fulfilled Amelia's. Amelia smiled through her tears and said, "My dream was never just about me. It was about passing on the spark of creativity to someone else. Looking at you now, I know my dream came true." Evelyn held the sketchbook close to her chest, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She knew this was only the beginning of her journey, but she would never forget the mysterious book, or the woman who had unknowingly changed her life. Here are 10 short daily use sentences from the story with simple meanings for easy understanding. She couldn't stay home anymore. Meaning, she felt bored or stuck and needed to go out. She bought it and took it home. Meaning, she purchased something and brought it back. She couldn't stop thinking about it. Meaning, she kept remembering it again and again. She began to draw. Meaning, she started making a picture. Something changed inside her. Meaning, she felt different or inspired. She couldn't believe it. Meaning, she was very surprised. People admired her art. Meaning, people liked and respected her work. Her heart skipped a beat. Meaning, she felt very excited or scared. Life got in the way. Meaning, other problems stopped her dreams. My dream came true. Meaning, something I wished for really happened. So, what do you think? Was the sketchbook truly magical, or was it the power of inspiration and connection that made Evelyn's dreams come true? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another tale. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.